you guys. So as we are starting with the Tangiers 4-play cane, 60/40, whatever you want to call it, we just turned the stove on. Again, before you use the Phoenix, when it comes in the packaging, you have to clean it. These manufacturers, when they do mass productions of the sort, there's gonna be some shavings, there's gonna definitely be some oils and waters that they use that if you do not rinse it off with water, it will give you a kind of a weird taste with the first use. So you take it out of the packaging, you rinse it off with water, the lid, the bottom, whatever, let it dry. And then when you're coming to use it for the first time or any other time, the way we heat it, 6061 grade aluminum T6. The characteristics of it being machined, you can actually preheat it. It's a very strong alloy. You could put it straight onto the element right here for an hour, hour and a half with 4 coals inside it. It will not melt. But it does melt, it does break if you put it on a gas stove, meaning like an open flame. This is okay. Element, electrical is fine. Gas, open flame, not good with this alloy. So I don't want to preheat it to the point where the heat is above what the requirement of a tobacco, so it does not scorch. So I don't put it on like this for the 10 minutes of the coals cooking. This is what I do. You only have about 30% touching on the side of that, okay? And then you let them cook. I leave that right now the way it is. I leave it for a good 10 minutes. I'll come back in 5, I'll flip the coals. I'll leave it for another 5 minutes until the coals are fully lit. As the stove is on, I take the coals, put them in, shut the stove off, transfer my Phoenix HMD onto the bowl, which we will show you also and edit both these parts together. We will show you when these coals are fully lit. Alright you guys, so for the sake of the video, we did already flip them. I did not touch this, all I did is flip. In the video right now, because maybe it's bright, you cannot see that they're fully lit. Once we take them into a darker area, you'll see how fully lit they are. So we flipped them. The Phoenix has been on here, only 30% touching the element for about a 10-minute time that the coals take to cook. So I take my coals and I put them in here. Again, if you are, the 25s fit very easily. You have to kind of what's that game that we play, Tetris. Sometimes you have to Tetris it in because they're not like perfect size, whether they're 25 or whatever. They're not like a perfect cube. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but you play around with it and you see that there's plenty of space. And you know what, it's much easier to really grab it this way to put it on properly, right on the outside lip, like so. And now we walk it down to our hookah. And here you can see that it's actually is pretty lit and they're nice and red. And then what I do is just kind of make sure that it's 100% perfect on there. And I'm actually, because it is Tangiers, I'm gonna actually remove both of these because we did preheat it. Usually if I don't preheat it with Tangiers, 3 coals and a lid, within 4 minutes you're smoking. It could take a little bit more, so we'll put that 3rd one in. And these, ladies and gentlemen, are Tangiers. it's better to, even if you preheat it, don't preheat it to where you're scorching it. Preheat it so that it shortens your time of waiting without scorching your tobacco. So even though it is not fully clouds the way I like them or the way you guys like them, but it's better to add heat rather than scorch your tobacco and then you're pretty much done. Tastes amazing. If I want a little bit more heat, I could either put the lid on for a minute, put the extra fourth coal for about 30 seconds. I could use the hookah starter, because even from cold, you put 3 coals in there or 4 coals with a lid on any other than Tangiers. Look at that. And you use the hookah starter, and it actually starts it from cold. Even if you don't preheat it, from cold, using a hookah starter, you could actually get it going within a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Always, always, always remember, the big variant with the Phoenix HMD is what kind of coals you're using. If they give out high heat, that's the best, because to start it up, it needs a lot of heat. And then you kind of descend the heat from there. Again, I don't like to smoke really hot. I smoke light. I want to enjoy a maximum session. Thank you.